Once upon a time, deep in the forest lived a clever fox named Felix and a lazy bear named Oscar. Felix was quick with his mind and always found a way to solve problems, while Oscar liked to sleep all day in his cozy cave. The two were very different, but still best friends. One bright sunny morning, Felix woke up early as usual and decided to explore the forest. Oscar was still sleeping in his cave. Felix tiptoed to his cave and called out to him, "Oscar, are you awake?" Oscar mumbled, but did not open his eyes. "Go away, Felix. I want to sleep longer." Felix thought for a moment and smiled to himself. He had an idea. He knew Oscar loved honey more than anything. Felix said in a sweet voice, "Oscar, I found a secret honey tree far away in the forest. The honey there is so sweet and pure you will love it. If you get up now, we can go and bring back jars of honey." Oscar opened his eyes slowly and rubbed his belly. He thought for a moment. The idea of sweet honey was very tempting, but getting out of bed was not. He groaned and stretched his paws. "I don't feel like moving." Felix smiled and said, "Don't worry, Oscar. I will help you get there. We can make a little adventure out of it." Oscar thought about it for a while. He didn't want to miss out on honey, so he finally agreed. "All right, Felix, I will come with you, but only because of the honey." Felix grinned, and together they set off into the forest. The journey was not easy. They had to cross a rushing river, climb steep hills, and walk through thick bushes. Oscar found it hard to keep up. Every now and then, he would sit down to rest and ask Felix to wait. "Felix, how much farther is it?" Felix was already way ahead, but he patiently waited for Oscar to catch up. "Not much farther, Oscar. But remember, the sooner we get there, the sooner we can enjoy the honey." Oscar nodded and lazily got up to follow Felix. After a while, they reached the foot of a tall mountain. Felix began to climb it quickly, while Oscar looked up at the steep rocks with worry. "Felix, I don't think I can climb this mountain. I am too tired." Felix turned around and smiled. "Oscar, the honey tree is at the top of this mountain. It will be worth the climb." Oscar grumbled, but agreed to try. He started climbing, but quickly got tired and found a flat rock to sit on. "I will just wait here, Felix. You go ahead and get the honey. I will enjoy a nap while you work." Felix was a little disappointed, but he didn't say anything. He continued his climb alone. Oscar watched him struggle from below and felt a little guilty. Felix was so determined and hardworking, but Oscar just couldn't bring himself to try. After a long climb, Felix finally reached the top of the mountain, and to his surprise, he found not just one honey tree, but many of them. The honey was dripping from the trees, and the smell was sweet and delicious. Felix carefully gathered some honey in jars and smiled to himself. He could already imagine Oscar's excitement when he saw the honey. But as he started to head back down the mountain, he saw something that made him stop in his tracks. A huge storm cloud was quickly rolling in. The wind started to pick up and the sky turned dark. Felix knew he had to hurry to get back to Oscar before the storm hit. He raced down the mountain as fast as he could. When he reached the bottom, he saw Oscar still lounging on the rock, sleeping peacefully. Felix called out, "Oscar, wake up, the storm is coming, we need to hurry back to the forest." Oscar slowly opened his eyes and stretched. "What's the rush, Felix? I was having such a nice dream." Felix sighed and grabbed Oscar by the arm. "There's no time for dreams, Oscar. The storm is coming, we have to go now." Oscar stood up reluctantly and followed Felix back to the forest. The wind was howling and the rain began to pour down heavily. The two of them ran through the forest as fast as they could. Felix kept looking back to make sure Oscar was keeping up. They finally made it back to their cave just as the storm hit. They both huddled inside and looked out at the rain. Oscar felt a little ashamed of himself. "I'm sorry, Felix. I should have helped you climb the mountain. I should have tried harder instead of being so lazy." Felix smiled and handed Oscar a jar of honey. "It's all right, Oscar. Sometimes we all get tired, but remember that hard work and determination will always lead to great rewards. If you put in the effort, you will find success just like we found this honey. The important thing is that we work together and never give up." Oscar nodded and smiled. "Thank you, Felix. I will remember that." The two friends sat in the cave enjoying the sweet honey and the warmth of their friendship. Oscar learned that being lazy might feel good for a while, but hard work and effort always bring the best rewards in the end. From that day on, he was a little less lazy and a little more willing to help Felix with their adventures. Lesson for the little ones. Hard work and effort always bring great rewards. Being lazy might feel easy at the moment, but the satisfaction of accomplishing something through hard work is much sweeter. Always try your best and never give up.